Hey, what's up, highly flavored peeps? So today we're back, and in this video, I thought it would be cool to kind of do a step-by-step cook with me type of video, and I'm making homemade pizza dough. And this is a vegan pizza to let everyone know. So let's go ahead and get started. This is step by step. Let's go. So as you can see right there, I am taking some active yeast. I have active baking yeast, and I got this from a local natural health food store. I'm taking about a teaspoon of it, and I'm taking a teaspoon of sugar and about a cup of warm water. You want to mix that together, cover it with some saran wrap, plastic wrap, or I guess if you have foil, and you're going to let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until it foams up. So next I am taking flour. Couldn't think of it. I'm taking flour. So I'm taking about 3 cups. It really depends, but I'm adding about a teaspoon of salt. Any type of salt you want. You can use Himalaya salt if you like. I'm just using regular salt, table salt. And I'm mixing that together, okay? So mixing all that together, make sure it's all mixed together. And by this time, your yeast or, whatever, keep checking on it. Make sure that it's rising or foaming up, not rising. And so I'm taking some garlic powder. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I love garlic bread, okay? So I'm taking some garlic powder, and I added about a teaspoon of garlic powder in there. And now I'm taking some vegan butter. I think I'm using Earth Balance brand, but also I can't believe its butter has a vegan brand as well, and it tastes pretty good. So I melted it. I melted about a half a cup, and I'm gonna put that in my flour. And the reason I'm doing that is because I like really good buttery, greasy pizza bread, okay? Pizza bread, I mean. So you can skip that step if you don't like that type of bread. So now I'm taking, you guys see how foamy it is? The yeast, you want it to look like that. It's gonna look white and kind of bubbly. I'm gonna add that in the flour, in the mixture, in our dry mixture is what they call stuff. So I'm gonna begin to mix it with a wooden spoon. Excuse my elbow, y'all, excuse it. But I'm gonna begin to mix this mixture with a wooden spoon. I'm gonna learn how to do videos up above, you guys, so I won't have to be in the way. But anyway, we're just gonna mix this. And as you guys can see, the spoon wasn't really working for me. So I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna be using my hands, and it can get kind of messy. So if you're someone who doesn't like messy cooking, I'm sorry, but it's pizza dough. You kind of have to mush it together. So you want to kind of form it in a ball. So you're going to roll it around until you can try to get a ball shape. You're going to mush it and everything. As you can see, my dough is a little bit dry looking. The flour's not kind of sticking all the way together. It's sticking, but not really. And this is a step-by-step cook with me, so somehow, somewhere, I made some type of mistake. So all you can do to fix that, which I believe you guys will see me do, is add about, is it a tablespoon? Yeah, add about a tablespoon of warm water. Just add some water if your dough is kind of dry. Warm water, because remember we have our yeast in there. And that can help everything stick together. If your dough is too wet, you went somewhere else, you went wrong with the flour. So we're gonna add a little bit, just a couple sprinkles of flour. But once again, if you're like me, and I'm trying my hardest, as you guys can see right there, but it just was dry. So I had to add some water, and warm water to be more precise. So I'm mashing, and that was when did I add the warm water? But anyway, I'm mashing. I went ahead and added the water off camera, but add about a 1 tablespoon of warm water. And I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap, because we're gonna let it rise. And I'm gonna put a grocery bag over it. I let it rise for about 45 minutes. And now we're gonna mash it again to just make sure we have all our flour together, make sure the yeast is incorporated in the flour and everything. So I do have a tip, you guys. If you like a little bit of a sweeter bread, you can add more sugar in this recipe. So add more sugar in your flour if you want a sweeter bread. You know, if you want a saltier bread, you can add more salt, just to let you guys know. And I added about a teaspoon of warm water in there because my dough was still a little dry, but as you guys can see, it's getting there. It's getting there. So, and it made it perfect after I added those 2 teaspoons. And I'm covering it back up with plastic. And guess what? Another 45 minutes passed by. And so that was our second rising. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to spreading the dough. So on the pan, I'm putting some olive oil and I have some vegan butter. This time I'm using, I can't believe it's not butter, vegan butter, and I'm rubbing it on the pan. Because like I told you guys, I really like buttery and garlic bread. So I have my dough, it's in a ball now, and I'm actually gonna split this off because guess what? You can save dough. So I'm only making 1 pizza today. There's no need for me to have a thick type of dough. And I'm gonna put some flour on the countertop too so I can roll the bread. But this kind of dough, this recipe kind of makes a supersized pizza. So just split the dough if you're only making 1 pizza. Now if you're making a supersized pizza, like a square pizza, you know, like a party size pizza, then by all means keep the dough together and go ahead and shape it. But I'm not, and I'm just making 1 little personal pan pizza. Well, it's not personal pan, but you know what I mean. 1 little medium-sized pizza. Or is this a large? Anyway, and I'm rolling it. And so you see I'm rolling it. Put flour down when you mess with dough, just to make sure it doesn't stick on the countertop and things like that. And now just begin to shape it into a pizza shape. So now I put it on top of the pan the greased pan, and I'm just spreading it now. If you like super thick dough, you can leave that dough, you know, you don't have to separate it all the way. But last time I made this and I did keep that same amount, the dough was too thick, like, you know, when you bite into the bread. So I do recommend splitting it. And now I have like the perfect amount of dough, and it's not gonna be too thick or too thin. This is not a thin crust pizza. This is not super thick. This is a pan style pizza. So now I opened up a can of tomato sauce, and what I'm doing is I'm spreading, also have some butter, and I'm spreading that on top of the dough. And I'm just gonna rub that around the dough and the tomato sauce. You can go ahead and use marinara sauce, whatever type of sauce you like. This next part of the video is all optional. So if you wanna make a barbecue pizza, this is probably the time you would add barbecue sauce. I mean, if you wanted to make a no sauce pizza, which I don't think I've ever had, but this is the time you can not add no sauce and go straight to your things you're gonna add. Oh, I'm also adding more garlic powder. I know. That was a lot of garlic powder. And you guys see that I did not measure that. Some things I measure, some things I don't. I do recommend measuring like wet ingredients. That is very important. Measuring wet ingredients is important, but you know, I try my best. So I'm adding a whole lot of tomato sauce because I like my pizza to be a good even balance of cheesy and saucy. But if I'm not using any cheese, which I'm not in this video, I didn't feel like any cheese the day I made this, then I added extra tomato sauce. So you guys do not have to add as much tomato sauce as I did, but I did it because I like it extra saucy. Now, you can add cheese to this, and I have tried this with vegan cheese, by the way. I can't remember the brand I use, but I'll probably make one day with cheese so you guys can see. And I'm also adding Italian seasoning, which all that is Italian herbs. So, what is that, like parsley and other stuff. And now I'm adding some spinach. I was just making a plain spinach type of pizza. Spinach and bell pepper and banana peppers. And arugula. Which, by the way, I forgot to film the arugula, but I did add that, and you guys will see at the end. So I'm adding lots of spinach on my pizza because I love spinach. And I'm adding some tomato sauce on top of the spinach. Now, once again, you do not have to add this much tomato sauce. This is also the time you would add your cheese and cover your cheese over on top of your spinach so it can kind of be like layers. Now I'm adding my bell peppers, and I'm adding some really good banana peppers, which banana peppers are amazing, okay? They're just amazing. So I'm adding banana peppers on the pizza, and I turned my oven up to 450, by the way. So go ahead and preheat your oven to 450. Pizzas bake really good at high temperatures really quick. So less than 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes sometimes, but I put mine on 450. And I'm just making sure all my stuff is on there. I'm closing stuff up. But I also have another tip though. So I had a second pizza pan out there if you guys didn't see, and I covered it on top of my pizza. So it was like a little sandwich of 2 pizza pans, and I put it in the oven. And I did that because I didn't want my spinach to burn, okay? But I just thought I would share that with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of my longer videos, so I'm pretty excited about it. Please share, subscribe, and stay safe.